शङ्खं चक्रं जलौकां दधतममृतघटं चारुदोर्भिश्चतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिहृद्यां शुकपरिविलसन् मौलिमं भोजनेत्रं कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारुपीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिं तं निखिलगगनप्रौढदावाग्निलीलम्। चतुर्मुखसमारम्भां वाग्भटाचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। वेदिकायां विराजमानः कोट्टेकल् चिकित्सालयस्य प्रधानचिकित्सकः वार्यर् महोदयः, एतस्य महाविद्यालयस्य सञ्चालकः विजयन् नाङ्गेलिल् महोदय, ME शशि महोदय, प्राचार्यः मान्यः रेजी महोदय, वेदिकायां विद्यमानाः अन्ये गण्याः, सभायाम् उपस्थिताः मूर्धन्यचिकित्सकः, आदरणीयः वन्द्यः गुरुतुल्यः बालेन्द्रप्रकाश महोदय, मम प्रथमगुरुः शङ्करन्कुट्टी महोदय, सभायाम् उपस्थिताः अन्ये चिकित्सकाः, वैद्याः, छात्राश्च, सर्वदा अहं मम भाषणं संस्कृतेन करोमि। भाषणस्य प्रारम्भं संस्कृतेन करोमि, यतः संस्कृतज्ञानं सर्वेषाम् आयुर्वेदवैद्यानां कृते अनिवार्यम्। अस्माकं स्वप्नः अस्ति यत् तादृशं दिनम् आगच्छेत् यदा सर्वे आयुर्वेदवैद्याः संस्कृतेन सम्भाषणं कर्तुं शक्नुयुः। संस्कृतेन सम्भाषणं कृत्वा आयुर्वेदवैद्यानां सम्पर्कभाषा संस्कृतं भवेत्। दौर्भाग्यवशात् वयम् इदानीम् आङ्ग्लभाषया व्यवहारं कुर्वन्तः स्मः। या भाषा अस्मदीयभाषा एव नास्ति, वैदेशिकी भाषा। किम् आङ्ग्लेयानाम् आगमनात् पूर्वम् अस्माकं सम्पर्कः नासीत्? वयं परस्परं संवादम् अन्यराज्येभ्यः आगतेभ्यः सह कुर्वन्तः आस्म। तदानीं हिन्दीभाषा अपि नासीत्। हिन्दीभाषा अपि पुरातनभाषा नास्ति, नूतना भाषा। आङ्ग्लभाषा अपि नूतनभाषा। पुरातनभाषाः सन्ति तमिळ्, कन्नड, मलयाळम् अथवा संस्कृतम्, एवं पुरातनभाषाः सन्ति। तदानीं समग्रभारते संस्कृतभाषया एव व्यवहारः आसीत्। समग्रभारतस्य सम्पर्कभाषा संस्कृतभाषा आसीत्। तादृशी स्थितिः पुनः आगच्छेत्, तदर्थम् अस्माभिः प्रयत्नः करणीयः। कारणवशात्, दौर्भाग्यवशात् वा इदानीं संस्कृतेन वयं सम्भाषणं कुर्वन्तः न स्मः, किन्तु वयं सर्वे संस्कृतम् अवगन्तुं शक्नुमः। मलयाळभाषायाम् 80% संस्कृतमेव अस्ति। हिन्दीभाषायाम् अपि सर्वासु भारतीयभाषासु संस्कृतम् अस्ति। सर्वासां भाषाणां जननी अस्ति संस्कृतभाषा। यदि प्रयत्नं कुर्मः तर्हि निश्चयेन तत्र काठिन्यं नास्ति, असाध्यं नास्ति। अस्माभिः केवलं प्रयत्नः करणीयः। संकोचं त्यक्त्वा सम्भाषणस्य आरम्भं करोतु, तावदेव आवश्यकम्। तत्र ह्यः यस्टर्डे अहं तत्र आसम् अष्टाङ्गम् आयुर्वेदमहाविद्यालये। तत्र संस्कृतशिक्षिका अस्ति, संस्कृतेन वदति। अत्र तु मम गुरुः एव अस्ति संस्कृतशिक्षकः। अतः भवन्तः सर्वे संस्कृतं पठितुं शक्नुवन्ति, संस्कृतस्य अभ्यासं कर्तुं शक्नुवन्ति। तत्र राष्ट्रीयसंस्कृतसंस्थानद्वारा संस्कृतकक्षा प्रचलति। संस्कृतमाध्यमेन संस्कृतशिक्षणं तत्र भवति। तादृशकेन्द्रं, सेण्टर् अत्र अपि कर्तुं शक्यते। एव्रिवन् शुड् स्पीक् संस्कृतं, तदेव अस्माकम् उद्देशः। तत्र भाषायाः कौशलचतुष्टयं, 4 skills of language learning, श्रवणं भाषणं पठनं लेखनम् अधुना संस्कृतभाषायां केवलं पठनं भवति लेखनं भवति श्रवणं नास्ति यदि भाषणम् अस्ति तर्हि एव श्रवणं भवति कश्चित् संस्कृतेन वदति तर्हि केवलं वयं श्रोतुं शक्नुमः अन्यथा श्रोतुं न शक्नुमः अतः भवतां कृते श्रवणाभ्यासं कारयितुं भवन्तः एट्लीस्ट् यू शुड लिसन् टू संस्कृतं तदर्थम् अहं संस्कृतेन वदन् अस्मि भवन्तः संस्कृतं श्रुत्वा आनन्दम् अनुभवेयुः तथैव संस्कृतं सरला भाषा सरलतया वदति चेत् वयं सर्वे अवगन्तुं शक्नुमः वयं सर्वे अपि सम्भाषणम् अपि कर्तुं शक्नुमः इति कान्फिडेन्स् आत्मविश्वासः भवेत् तदर्थम् अहं संस्कृतेन प्रारम्भं करोमि मम भाषणस्य सर्वदा इतः परमपि अहं संस्कृतेन अग्रे वक्तुं शक्नोमि किन्तु संस्कृतमिश्रितम् आङ्ग्लभाषा अनन्तरम् आङ्ग्लभाषया व्यवहर्तव्यं भवति यतः अत्र सान्दर्भिकम् आङ्ग्लभाषया एव वक्तव्यं भवति Regarding this seminar which is being arranged here, seminars are we call it as the opportunity for Tadvidya Sambhashana. Their interaction regarding the subjects will be done. Here especially it is for Karma Abhyasa, clinical approach. And it is told once you study, you enter the Vishikha. Sushruta says, Vishikha nam karma margaha. Karma means here practice. In Ayurvedic text, there is no any other word for practice. So, we think that karma is something different meaning because in the colloquial language the meaning may be different. But here it is karma means a practice. Karma abhyasa is a continuous practice. Abhyasa shilanam satata kriya. So that karma abhyasa is the one which we have to do here and continuously understanding that karma marga, what is the path of practice, how we have to practice, what is the right practice, that is what we have to see. And it's our aim to become karma nipuna. It's told that our two aims should be Shastra Paragati and Karma Naipunya. Without Shastra, Karma Naipunya cannot be attained. Shastra, knowledge of Shastra, complete knowledge, that's called Shastra Parangati. Not only some scattered knowledge of Shastra, but it is a complete knowledge of Shastra which is required to become Nipuna in our karma or practice. That Karma Naipunya is very much required. That's why we have to strive for Karma Naipunya. I think the organizers have arranged such a seminar where we can learn and have called great clinicians, practitioners like Balendra Prakash sir, etc., who will give you more insight towards the proper practice, proper selection of medicine and proper diagnosis of the disease, which is the main aim. So Sutta says, Karma Abhyasa is very much important and only Karma Abhyasa is not enough. He says, Yastu Karmasu Vishnataha Dhartyat Shastra Bahishkritaha Sasatsu Garhamapnoti Vadam Charchati Rajataha. Without the Shastra Parangati or the base of Shastra, if you concentrate only on practice, that is also not right. Both are equally to be understood and both are to be balanced. That's why we have to continuously learn the practice. Karma Abhyasa should be done. Along with that, Shastra Adhyayana is required. For that he says, yes, again only Shastra, knowledge of Shastra itself is not enough. What we lack in our college education is the Karma Abhyasa mainly. But the Shastra is almost, we teach. That's not a difficulty. But Karma Abhyasa, giving Karma Abhyasa or practice and showing various cases is not possible because we should get such cases and learn. So there may be some practical difficulties also in the colleges to get more patients. That's why it may not be possible to give more karmabhyasa. That's why those who are experienced in that, those who are very much experienced should be brought together and their knowledge is to be shared with each other. That's why this type of seminars are being done. Coming to the Shastra which I have told, and in the beginning also I have spoken in Sanskritam. That is because of the Sushruta, what he says. I always use this in each and every speech. Without this sloka, my speech will not be complete. That is Vaksamshtave Artha Vijnane Pragalpye Karma Naipune Tadabhyaseta Siddhamcha Yateta Adhyanantagaha. Adhyanasya Antam Gantum Ichchati iti Adhyanantagaha. Adhyanasya, we have to strive for that Parangati. It's not that superficially we will learn Ayurveda and learn some medicines and do those medicines and symptomatic treatment we will do like a compounder. It's not enough. We should become a complete Vaidya, and for that complete knowledge of Shastra is required. To attain that complete knowledge of Shastra, language, command over the language of Shastra, that is Sanskritam, is required. That's why Sushruta says first Vak Saushtava. That is clarity of speech or command over our language is necessary. Of course, our texts are in Sanskritam. We have to speak to the patients in their own language, so local language is also important. And now, unfortunately, there is English. We are imparting the education through English medium, so we should know English also. The modern knowledge which is there in English, that also is to be understood. The modern science, it is also a science. We cannot say that we should not learn modern. Modern science is also to be learned. Based by understanding the modern science, we can understand Ayurveda. That is what is required. That's why to understand Shastra, language is required. Vak Saushtava. Once we have that proper knowledge of Shastra language, when we are able to speak a language, then only it is possible to understand the language. See, a child learns a language by just listening to the family members. No one teaches. After that, slowly, word by word, the child will start speaking. When the child makes mistake, the family members will correct it and the child will learn. That is the way to learn the language. And all the languages, all will speak the language with the proper grammatic sentences, isn't it? How? If we can learn a language like that, why can't we learn Sanskritam also in the same way? Once you learn in that way, to understand the text, once you are conversative of Malayalam, you need not learn again to understand the text or to read books, isn't it? There is no necessity. Same way, if you are able to speak Sanskritam, you need not learn Sanskritam again separately to understand the text, understand the Sanskrit text. That's why spoken Sanskritam is very much necessary. Everyone learns spoken Sanskritam, then we can go and have that Vak Saushtava. Then Artha Vijnana, understanding the Shastra in this deeper aspect. Arthashaha, Arthavayavashaha. Not only the Artha, word meaning, but Artha Avayava is also to be understood. Various meaning of that is also to be understood. When we continuously practice like that, that's what he says, Tada Abhyasecha. Abhyasa of Vak Saushtava and Artha Vijnana continuously is to be done. Then we will get that confidence. That's called Pragalpya. Pragalpata. That confidence, once you get in Shastra, then you will excel in your practice. That's why he says, after that, once you have that confidence in Shastra, go for Karma Abhyasa. Karma Abhyasa, when we do, Karma Naipunya can be attained. Excellence in practice, then we will attain Siddhi. That is called Siddhi. You know, Siddha Vaidya, why the name came? Because Siddhas have attained that Parangati or that what you call excellence. That's why they are called Siddhas. In Ayurveda also Siddhas can be there. It's not only Siddha medicine and Ayurveda are not separate. They are same, but one is in Tamil, another is in Sanskritam. That's all the difference. So everyone should become Siddha in practice, and anyone of you may write a Samhita also. Thousands of years are over after the writing of Charaka Samhita, Susruta Samhita or Ashtanga Hridaya. No new Samhita has come which is equal to that. Now it is a necessity of the time, that need of the hour, that someone writes a Samhita also by incorporating the modern aspects in that. That's what is the necessity. That also should come. And such reforms in Ayurveda are required, and new innovations are required. The mandate of the NCASM is also to have improved the quality of education and meet the standards of education. That's what is our mandate. That's why the new syllabus which has come for first year, everyone is very happy regarding that. Very well structured syllabus has been formed by the experts, and experts had many deliberations, and they have had many meetings for that and training sessions also, so that they could bring such a very well structured syllabus. And for the second year and third year also we are going to have such structured syllabus, so that students will be taught in a systematic way, in a scientific way. The education of Ayurveda also will be imparted to the students. That's what is the aim. And the suggestions of all the stakeholders like you is also required for improving furthermore the Ayurveda education. Along with that, in order to support the students in research activities, we have started training for research guides, and further we will have master trainers have been already trained. Now we will be training others also, where the PG students will be trained by them to conduct research. Ayurveda research is also very much required, because without the research we cannot establish Ayurveda in the modern era. Olden times it was not required, and in India it's a time tested. We have no doubt that Ayurveda is efficacious. We don't want any evidence for that, but the people of the world, the scientific world, expects that from us, that we have to give the evidence. So that evidence is to be created through the research work, and I hope each and every one student here can strive, take any one drug or any one disease or any one practice, the clinical practice or a treatment procedure, and study about that, improvise it, standardize it, and propagate it and establish it. That's what is to be done. See, in modern science, that's what people have done. That's why modern science has established it in such a way that it excels, it supersedes all. That's because of their continuous efforts. We have to have that continuous efforts. If we put our efforts to establish Ayurveda and take any one of the things what I have told, there is no doubt that we will be able to establish Ayurveda. That's what is expected from us, and we have to take that inspiration and a mission in our life, that I will take any one vidha of Ayurveda and I will work for that. Especially I am a Dravya Guna person, that's why I emphasize on the drug research. Drug research is very much necessary, because now only 800 drugs about have been documented in our classical texts. But about 4,000 plants have been identified as the medicinal plants out of the 40,000 plant species available. So there are a lot of scope there. We have to find out new drugs and study about them. Not only just establish a clinical marker for that and say that this is effective in a particular disease. No. We have to study totally both pharmacognostic, pharmacological, analytical or clinical study. All studies should be carried out so that the Namarupa Vijnana or Gunakarma